Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lin Trin. Hello and welcome to episode 206 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is, how do I compete in a crowded marketplace? Now, this is a question I get asked quite often. I have to say, whenever I'm talking to a personal trainer who ultimately wants more freedom, he or she generally comes to me and the conversation pans out usually somewhat like this. And I go, okay, well, if there are three things that I can fix right now inside of your life, what would it be? Would it be to have more money? Would it be to have more time? Or would it be to absolutely be free? Now, I already know the answer is all three, because who wouldn't want more time? Who wouldn't want more money? And who wouldn't want more freedom? But the biggest thing that I see that a lot of personal trainers, when we have this conversation, is that they go, okay, well, look, I want more time. And that's a big, big thing. And I'm like, the chat ends up being this. Well, why don't you cut out half of the things that you're currently doing? Like, what if you just took Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off? And so the question isn't having more time. The question then becomes, well, if I took Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, I actually would lose a lot of my income. So the thing is, they want to make their time more valuable, which means they want to increase the amount of dollars they earn for that moment in time. And then ultimately, once they've been able to fix that, the next thing is to systematize their business and actually become a business owner, not become self-employed. And I think if you're listening to this, the biggest trap that most personal trainers fall into, and the biggest one that I fell into, was not moving away from being self-employed to being a business owner. I wanted to share the difference between the two. Being self-employed or owning an ABN is what they call that in Australia. It means you have your own business, but running your own business means that, unfortunately, if you do not rock up to your sessions, if you do not show up, then guess what? You don't get paid. You are responsible, for the business. You are the business. And so a lot of the times, this burnout of waking up at 5 a.m., getting home at 9 p.m. and seeing, 5, 6, 7 clients with a lot of cancellations throughout the day, that becomes a pattern. And so for a lot of personal trainers, it's super difficult. I know when I was training in the gym, I didn't take holidays, because I knew that if I would take holidays, guess what would happen? My income would split directly in half. And then coming back from holidays, I'd actually have to spend another week or two trying to build up those sessions back to getting to the 30 or 40 session mark. And so that was one of the things that I didn't do. And the reasons why I didn't do it, because I was self-employed. And I want to share this with you, because if you're listening to this, you might be feeling the same thing. And the first thing is, well, how do you compete inside of a crowded marketplace? And this all stems from the idea of having more freedom. So more trainers want to jump inside of the online space. And I get it. The online space is technically freedom to most trainers. But the question and the biggest elephant in the room that I want to bring up is, okay, let's be honest now. Like, let's just say you got 100 clients online. Would you still be free? And then the person on the other side of the camera, of Zoom, literally stares at me. I'm like, what do you mean? Would you be free? And they're like, no. But they don't know what hit them, because they've never asked the question. You see, the association that we make in building an online business is that we're going to get freedom. Yet it's the same trap that you're going to fall in. If you see 100 clients face to face, or if you see the 100 clients behind your computer screen at a cafe, you don't actually have freedom. Now, the online space has its pros and cons, and I'll share that with you. Okay, the online space means that, you get to rock up, you get to live by your own schedule, but guess what? Now you're on tap 24/7. Now you don't have the ability to switch off. Okay, the offline space is really, really cool, because guess what? You actually feel energized. You actually feel like, you get connection with your clients, face-to-face connection, and you have the ability to switch off. You're location dependent. The online space is location independent, but now you're hooked up to a computer 24/7 if you don't structure it yourself correctly. And that was the problem that I fell into. And I need to ask myself this question. I was like, okay, cool. Because essentially when I thought about going online, I thought, okay, the biggest thing is that I'm going to get freedom. And the thing that I see with myself and most trainers, they fall into trap. In fact, all trainers. I haven't seen a trainer do this from scratch, right? All trainers fall into this trap of going online not being able to pull themselves away, not being able to build systems that run without them. What does this mean? Like systems, everyone throws that word around, but I very, very rarely see, your next Facebook ad guru or whatever the case may be able to build systems. He or she, if you have a look at their business, is technically self-employed too. They're stuck inside of their business. And so we begin this game of, I don't want to kind of diverge here on the podcast, but it's really, really important for you to know. And I want to begin this show and this series by going in to the first thing that you need to answer, your foundation. How do you differentiate yourself? Especially if you want to build a business. This whole show isn't based around trying to get you more clients, trying to make you more money. It's ultimately trying to help you actually go from self-employed to a business owner, which then will allow you the freedom, the money, the time. Okay, because ultimately, if you want more money, guess what? Work double the hours. Okay, if you want more time, okay, work half the hours. And if you want more freedom, you need to build a business. Okay, you need to be a business owner and you can't be self-employed. So the first thing I want to get into today is the particular topic of the foundations and what it's like to stand out. Like, how do you differentiate yourself from the competitors online? Every single person that wants to start an online business, it's really scary, especially if you haven't put yourself out there. There's going to be so many hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. There's going to be so many new fears and challenges you're going to have to face. It's like you've never hit a squat before, and for the very first time, you're putting that barbell on your back. And it's going back to that because there's a comfort zone for every single person. And right now, you're about to enter that, outer layer of your comfort zone. And you need to be able to break through that. At first, it's going to be very, very scary because you're like, holy crap, I've never played this game before. I'm scared to put myself out there. And I don't believe in myself. That's the very first thing that stops so many people from getting started. They don't have that belief. I don't think I can do this. People are going to judge me. And it's a lot of the internal struggle that we talk about. It's about a lot of the chit chat inside of your mind that stops you. Okay, so the first thing is just making sure that you need to find an area of expertise that you need to dominate. I know this sounds so cliche, but this is the one thing that most trainers don't do. In fact, all trainers don't do this, and I didn't do this when I started out as well. Because as personal trainers, guess what? We're conditioned inside of the gym to get everybody and anybody to pay us $50 a session. Yeah, and we're conditioned to do so. So when I tell trainers, hey, you should focus on one particular group, focus on postnatal mums, focus on being the best trainer, coach for a male entrepreneur. Okay, be the best coach for men over 30 and dads, and work with really overweight dads. Okay, find your craft. And I know that sounds really, really cliche because you're about to go, well, holy crap, how do I get clients? There's only about 3 guys I know that fit into that category, and I'm going to lose money. And so it begins to then, the journey of doubling down, of really niching down, and more importantly, learning marketing so you can get your message in front of more people. Now that I play this out with 2 scenarios, I go, okay, cool. You attract everybody, and ultimately you don't stand out, and people see you as a commodity, and you actually don't build a great business, or you actually niche down and you're known for something, and you learn marketing, and it begins to blow up. Now, I want to play this inside of your mind, and it was the same thing that I had to go through because when I first started out, especially inside of the online space, I wanted to be everything to everybody because I had that personal trainer mentality inside the gym. And I was like, okay, well, holy crap, if I don't sign up anybody, I'm not going to get anybody. All these people right here want to give me money, but I'm not going to take it. That's the same dealio with you, because if you want to build a business and you don't want to be self-employed, you got to start doing things a little bit differently. You got to start doing things a little bit unconventional, things that you haven't done before. Okay? Definition of insanity, guess what? You already know. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So the whole goal of this podcast really is to give you insight and to ultimately allow you to build something great, to allow you to actually go, okay, I really want to do this. I really want to have freedom. I really want to help more people. I really want to profit at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with making money, helping people. Okay, and that's probably one of the biggest key barriers down the track. Not just yet, down the track after you've begun to build your foundations, after you've begun to stand out. So my question for you today, after today's episode, is simply this: what key area are you going to double down in? What key area are you going to focus in? Okay, and are you going to dominate? It's a very, very important step, and I don't want you to overlook this step. If you need to come back to this episode, then that's cool. but it is a very, very key important step in understanding and building your empire. And I get it, because the natural progression is right now, how do I make more money? How do I get more time? All these questions come into your mind, but what I implore you to do is I implore you to play the long-term game, really sit down and think about this, because we don't want to do the same things we did in 2017 and bring them over 2018. We don't want to have those same thoughts. We don't have those same ideas. The biggest thing I see with so many personal trainers is that they jump in, just like your clients, looking for a different diet. We laugh so much at our clients, okay? We laugh so much at them for jumping on detoxes, for them being silly, for them being stupid. Like, who buys into that fad? Yet the personal trainer does that inside their business, jumps into different fads, jumps into unrealistic expectations, wants to make $10,000 in 2 days. Right? That's the same thing as losing 10 kilos in 2 days. You just don't see it, but it's the same human psychology that we bring over from one area to the other area of our life. And so the biggest thing that I want to instill, and especially if you've been following the journey for a while, is long-term game and be great. Because you and I both know the cream rises to the top. And what I want you to understand, experts rise. Now, experts aren't born. Nobody's born an expert. I wasn't born an expert. But what I'm here to tell you is that experts are made. And if you begin to find your craft and you begin to double down and you begin to learn more and be obsessed with it and actually go, I actually want to be the best. No, because so many people want to be average but make a lot of money. And yet, if you want to be the best, that's when you get all the rewards and you dominate. So I'll leave you with that to ponder. And most importantly, today's topic is how do you stand out? So go and do that exercise. And of course, as usual, I'll see you on the next episode. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.